Young and the Restless latest update. Adam's 5-point plan to steal Sally away from Nick. Young and the Restless fans can't wait. Video. Devon Hamilton becomes Devon Winters on Young and the Restless. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Young and the Restless hunk Adam Newman has 5 ways he could lure Sally Spectra away from Nick Newman and back to him. And soon, Adam may reunite with Sally on the CBS Sudzer. This is a transcript of our new Young and the Restless video on how Adam can get Sally away from Nick. Video down below. Check out all our soap spoilers podcasts here, and be sure to follow us on YouTube as well. Young and the Restless fans not loving Snick. Hey there CBS soap opera fans, this is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and today I want to talk about how Adam can steal Sally Spectra away from Nick. A lot of people would like to see Adam back with Sally. They are not enjoying Snick, as they call the Sally and Nick pairing. So we want to talk about that today, and I've got a 5-point plan for how Adam Newman can steal pregnant Sally Spectra away from his brother Nick. Okay, 5-point plan. Let's dig into this and discuss how Adam can steal Sally away from Nick. Nick and Sally Spectra at a standstill, but just real quick. Let's talk about the existing playing field as it is right now. As it is right now, Nick Newman has a home where he lives with his son, Christian Newman. He adopted Christian, who is Adam Newman's biological child, but Adam agreed to let him raise him. Nick lives at home with his little boy on Young and the Restless. Sally Spectra, as far as we have seen, has never been to his house and has never interacted with his son. Sally was living at the Grand Phoenix, but now they've revitalized it, and it's the set of the Geno City Athletic Club. Sally Spectra still living in a hotel on Young and the Restless. She is now living in a suite at the GCAC. That's where this pregnant woman is living alone in a hotel room. Meanwhile, her boyfriend lives with his son and hasn't invited her to move in. Hasn't even invited her over for dinner. We only see them canoodling in Sally's hotel room, and clearly it's more than sex. There's some affection there, but that's where things are. Meanwhile, Adam is he living back at the ranch? He's not in the penthouse, he sold that. I believe he is living at the ranch. Maybe at the tack house. I'm trying to remember. At any rate, Adam's living somewhere. And he would clearly like that somewhere to be a shared space with Sally Spectra. He has proposed to her a couple of times, and as far as we know right now, she is pregnant with his child. Of course, that's a soap opera paternity test, so it cannot be trusted, but that's all the given information. So that's the starting point for what we're going to discuss. Nick loses Sally all on his own on Young and the Restless. Point number 1. Adam could just be patient and wait it out and wait for Nick to self-sabotage. If you've been watching Young and the Restless for a long time, you know that, inevitably, Nick will screw things up on his own. Do you remember the last time Nick and Sharon were at the altar to become husband and wife? Do you remember what he had done? He had slept with Phyllis Summers and then decided to keep it a secret. And then Sharon found out. She waited until they were at the altar. And then she blew it all up in his face because he screwed things up. They were in a very good spot. People were really happy to see them back together. They were happy to have their Sharon/Nick pairing. Nick self-destructs on Young and the Restless, but he screwed it up by hitting the sheets with Phyllis. Then it all blew up in his face, and now he and Sharon Case are on friendly terms, but he still screwed everything up. And that's what Nick does. He finds a way to eventually screw things up on Young and the Restless. Now he definitely thinks of himself as the good guy, but let's face it, he is kind of a rogue, kind of a bad boy, and he definitely finds a way to screw things up. So Adam could just be patient and wait and scoop Sally up after Nick inevitably disappoints her. However, Adam's not that patient. He's not a sit back and wait kind of guy. He's doing a really good job right now, trying to just be chill. But that's probably as patient as he can get. Adam Newman plants the seed of doubt on Young and Restless. Number 2. Adam can remind her about Nick's commitment issues. He has said it outright to her a couple of times, and that set her on the defensive. So I don't think he needs to be constantly saying, Nick doesn't love you. Nick will only love Sharon. He's never going to commit to you. Not like that. He needs to be subtle and just remind her casually of these facts without saying them in such a way that will get her ire up against Adam, because then she might dig in her heels more. He could ask things like, "Hey, have you been over to Nick's house? You know, how much time have you spent with Christian? Have you guys said I love you?" You know, he could ask things. He can ask questions that will promote these thoughts in her. So that's definitely something that he can do. And Sally might then start weighing it of, okay, Nick is just not moving forward with me, really. He's supporting my pregnancy, but our relationship is largely stagnant. He hasn't said he loved me, versus Adam is head over heels in love with me. So that's how he can get her thinking. Adam Newman reignites the spark also. Number 3. Adam can hire her at his new company so he can remind her of the days of their office romance and try to recreate some of that chemistry. Recently, Adam asked Sally to come to work for him at Tucker McCall's company, which Victor bought and gave to him. So he wants to hire her to work there. And that is a very good way for him to get closer to her. If they're working together, then that means he can have 8 hours a day of unobstructed, Nick-free access to Sally, ideally. However, you may remember that Victor already asked Nick to leave Newman Enterprises and come work for Adam as his COO. Nick even told Victoria about it, and she scoffed. Nick scoffed and then said no. However, if Sally's punching a time clock over there with Adam, Nick may rethink things. He could see how this could be part of Adam's plan to steal Sally away from him, so Adam can try that, but Nick may put himself back in the way, which could derail Adam's plan. Bonded by the baby on Young and the Restless, or fourth of the 5 ideas for Adam to steal Sally is he can remind her of the bond of the baby that she's carrying. The baby is starting to kick now, and she's letting him feel her bump, and there's a certain physical proximity that they're gonna have to each other as they continue through this pregnancy. And he keeps going to some of the doctor's appointments, and she lets him feel their baby kick. There's got to be this natural feeling of, oh, that's the father of my baby with his hand on my belly. You know, that just has to not necessarily bring up anything like any sort of hot thoughts about how they made the baby, but more thoughts of the bond that they share, that they are going to share for the rest of their lives. And that is another way he can worm himself closer to Sally, and that's something that Nick doesn't have with her. At least not now. At least not unless that paternity test is overruled. Baby's arrival changes Sally's mind on Young and the Restless, and our 5th and final thing is Adam can wait until Sally delivers the baby. He can wait until all those labor and delivery hormones and baby bonding hormones click in, and he can make sure he is right there at her side. So as she is falling in love with their newborn baby, maybe she could be falling back in love with him. Although I personally think she hasn't fallen out of love with Adam. I think she is hurt by him, and I personally think that she sees Nick as a safer choice. Sally's still hurt on Young and Restless, although, as I mentioned in point 1, waiting for Nick to self-sabotage seems like a safer choice. But I don't think her heart is safe with Nick. Plus, there are some upcoming May sweep spoilers saying that Nick basically sidelines Sally in his life when Sharon has a crisis that he helps her through. So it definitely feels like the Young and the Restless writers are clearing the path for Adam and Sally. But with our 5-point plan, if he puts this all into play, maybe he can win her back. And as for the upcoming Young and the Restless spoilers, we have got Victor raging at Nick because he wants him away from Sally. Then we have more angst between the 2 brothers and their dad because they are very mad that Victor tried to buy her baby and run her out of town, and that's gonna have them getting more protective. And then we have this upcoming May Sweets crisis with Sharon that will draw Nick closer to her and further from Sally. So the stage is set. And let's see if Adam Newman can take advantage and find his way to steal his girl back from his big brother. Devon Hamilton becomes Devon Winters on Young and the Restless. Will this Young and the Restless name change end up changing the man behind the name? Traditionally, children learn from their parents, but on the Young and the Restless, Devon Hamilton has decided to learn from his son. Dominic has multiple first and last names, and now Devon wants to join the fun. Young and the Restless Pauline E. grew up as Devon Hamilton, even after Neil and Drew adopted him. Now that both of them are dead, he's decided to become Devon Winters. Are viewers on board with the shift? Other Young and the Restless options: as long as Devon is looking for a fresh start, why not take his biological father, Tucker's name, 12% suggest he could be Devon McCall. That'll really confuse people. And make sure to tack it onto Dominic's monikers too. Young and the Restless. Devon Hamilton out of nowhere. We now 25% wonder. Devon has been Neil's son for over 20 years. It never used to bother him before. Is he doing it to stick it to Tucker? To Harmony? To Lily? He and his sister just got through a rough patch, which was, in part, over who was the true child of Neil's heart. Neither one is related to him by blood. Is this Devon's way of saying he's more of Neil's kid than Lily is? Young and the Restless. Who needs it? It's unnecessary. 26% of the audience dismisses. Devon has always been a Winters in his heart, even if it wasn't on his driver's license. Even when he was sleeping with Neil's wife, Devon was still a member of the family. It feels kind of anticlimactic. Whatever meaning the gesture might have had once is long gone by now. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.